Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to KEPR Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in about 18 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather, though, because things seem to be cooling, but we also have a kind of a reprieve from that wind we saw yesterday.
That's right. Today we are going to be looking at light wind in the forecast area. We are going to see cooler temperatures, though, and clouds are going to be increasing on this Thursday as well. So taking a look at our top weather headlines, again, clouds returning and cooler temperatures on this Thursday. Speaking of cooler, Friday is going to be much cooler, and winds are going to make a pretty big resurgence on Friday as well. And then shower chances are going to be returning by the time you get to Saturday. Now, real quick, reflecting back on yesterday, it was a pretty gusty one around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon on Wednesday, as we did see gusts between 30 and 35 miles an hour for the Tri-Cities, Yakima, Walla Walla, and Pendleton. In Ellensburg yesterday, we saw winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour. Now, again, today will feature light wind. Tomorrow, we will be windy again. We will talk about forecast wind gusts on Friday coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Yakima. A man is facing multiple felony sex charges after being accused of trying to arrange to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. According to court documents, the 67-year-old man offered $140 in an online chat for sex with the girl. What the man didn't know was that he was chatting with an undercover officer. He was arrested when he arrived for the planned meeting, which was part of a sting operation centered around Ellensburg. Now, police found sex-related items in the man's car, including condoms. The 67-year-old already has felony convictions, and his bail was set at $200,000. And there's new details on a stabbing, then a crash, both incidents connected. It started at around 11:30 Tuesday night on West 27th Avenue. Police found a woman who'd been stabbed multiple times. She was seriously injured, but is now in stable condition. At almost the same time, this crash at Bob Olson Parkway in West 15th Place. After some investigating, police determined the stabbing suspect intentionally crashed into a pickup truck. Luckily, the victim in that crash only had minor injuries.
This was an isolated incident. They were known to each other, so there was no threat to public safety or anything like that.
Now, the 20-year-old man accused of causing all of this now faces a felony vehicular assault charge, but other charges related to the stabbing are also expected. A 53-year-old man pled not guilty last week to 2 counts of forgery and 1 of second-degree theft. The Wenatchee man is accused of cashing fraudulent checks in Cle Elum at Washington Federal Bank that amounted to just under $4,000. Employees at the bank were suspicious of the check's authenticity and discovered the man had cashed a similar fraudulent check for almost $2,000 in Wenatchee earlier in the same day. Now, a considerable amount of cash was found in the 53-year-old man's possession when he was arrested. His trial is set to begin September 8th in Kittitas County Superior Court. And authorities warn the man accused of killing his 3 daughters may have changed his appearance to avoid capture. Here's a look at some of the changes Travis Decker could have made to his appearance. Decker is believed to have killed the young girls at a campground near Leavenworth on May 30th during a court-ordered visitation. Investigators say he then vanished into remote areas of Chelan and Kittitas counties. If you spot him, call 911 immediately and do not approach him. There's a $20,000 reward for any information leading to his arrest. And the owner of Valley Processing now knows her punishment for selling tainted fruit juice. Last December, 83-year-old Mary Ann Bleisner pled guilty to conspiring to introduce adulterated and misbranded food into interstate commerce at her now closed facility in Sunnyside. Prosecutors dropped other charges as part of the plea deal. Bleisner was given 3 years probation, but will have to pay more than $742,000, the revenue her company earned from selling that juice. Valley Processing was discovered to be storing rotting and fermenting grape concentrate in aging exposed containers. The juices had been contaminated with arsenic and patchoulin formed by mold on the fruit. Fentanyl continues to take lives in Yakima County, but overdose deaths are slightly down this year. So far, 55 people have died compared to 68 at this time last year. Many of those linked to straight fentanyl, while others mixed with other drugs like meth or cocaine. Yakima County Coroner Marshall Slight says the numbers appear to be about average compared to the rest of the state. Most local cases involve adults in their 30s and 40s, but teens have also been affected. The youngest overdose victim this year, around 18.
The hardest part is if they don't want the help, they're not, they're just going to go the other way. So if people are just trying to try it, it's not a good idea. It'd be nice if it was lower. The workload would be down and everything, but I think the awareness is out there. So communities, trying to help out with the Narcan and everything.
Now, Slight says fentanyl is easy to access because it's cheap and widely spread throughout the area. And with summer in full swing, he anticipates a rise in overdoses as drug activity often increases during concerts, festivals, school breaks, and other outdoor gatherings. As fire activity ramps up across the region, so are operations at the American Red Cross as they get prepared to respond to wildfires in our area. Just last week, we saw several fires prompt localized evacuations. Fortunately, none of those lasted for more than a few hours. If they had, though, that's when the Red Cross would be stepping in.
And when things start happening, that turns into gray, what we call gray sky. During blue sky, which is our preparation period, we have arrangements set up with churches and school districts and that kind of thing so that if we have an event, depending on the size, we can use school gymnasiums.
Now, in addition to local agreements, they also have supplies pre-positioned and ready to roll out at a moment's notice. If you're interested in getting involved, the Red Cross is always in need of more volunteers. And with that, we're going to jump over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather today. Jefferson, temperatures are cooling off. We have that wind kind of dying down, so
yes,
a little bit of a help on that end in terms of fire weather.
Yes.
But we also have some precipitation possibilities in the forecast as well, correct?
Precipitation as we get towards Saturday, yes. Now, today is going to be a very nice day. I do understand there will be clouds overhead, partly to mostly cloudy skies around the forecast area, but wind is going to be fairly negligible. And we are going to be looking at these temperatures that will be fairly comfortable. Check this out. For daytime highs today, upper 70s to low 80s are coming for the Tri-Cities. We will be seeing upper 70s to low 80s for the Yakima Valley, upper 70s to low 80s today in the Kittitas Valley, with upper 70s to low 80s today for the Blue Mountain foothills. And as I've already mentioned, partly to mostly cloudy skies overhead. Now, yesterday was a very windy day around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. Today, wind is going to be a non-story as we are going to be looking at fairly light winds all the way around the inland northwest. Even in the usual windy Kittitas Valley, we will only see wind today gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Now tomorrow, we are going to see a big time resurgence of wind. In fact, wind tomorrow will be on par with what we did see yesterday. So just be advised, light wind today, but those strong winds do return again on Friday. Now let's talk about the next 2 days after today. So Friday and Saturday, we will be looking at some pretty cool temperatures for both days. On Friday, much of the region will see upper 60s to low 70s, although we may squeak up to the mid 70s in the Tri-Cities, and there will be clouds overhead. By Saturday, we are going to see our coolest temperatures in quite some time, with mid 60s to low 70s all the way around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. There's also going to be a good chance of showers around the inland northwest on Saturday too. So a big time departure on Saturday with the weather from what we have seen really over the past month or so. So taking a look at the Storm Tracker Futurecast as we get towards Saturday afternoon, that is the time frame where we are really going to be watching for the potential of some widespread showers. As we go into Sunday morning, there will be some lingering showers potentially in the Tri-Cities, a good chance of showers Sunday morning for the Blue Mountains and adjacent foothills. And then as we head into Sunday afternoon, much of the area will be dry, but we will still be holding on to a good chance of showers Sunday afternoon for the Blue Mountains and adjacent foothills. So after about a month of pretty calm and pretty abnormally warm weather, we are really going to cool things down this weekend with that chance of showers. Of course, we will continue to monitor this, but right now I'm going to throw it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson leaving the governor's mansion and heading to the east side of the state yesterday, making several appearances throughout Walla Walla. The visit comes nearly a month after signing the largest tax increase in state history. KEPR's Alan Lester talks the visit.
An early morning start for the governor as he spoke to members of the Walla Walla Sunrise Rotary on Wednesday, tackling subjects such as addressing ongoing housing concerns, as well as defending his decision to greenlight more than $9 billion in new taxes via the state budget.
I'm pretty confident that if we cut our way out of that budget situation, there'd be numerous programs you all care about deeply, okay? Your kids' education, public safety, fill in the blank, that you'd have a big problem. I'm confident of that. So did I think we could cut our way out of the budget? Nope, I didn't. Did I think we should tax our way out of it? No, I did not. Did we land in between? Yes.
When pressed on whether more cuts will be needed in the next budget, Governor Ferguson didn't rule out the notion, but said it's dependent on how the federal government addresses its ongoing budget negotiations.
What we're facing right now from the federal government is potentially billions of dollars of cuts that go to things like Medicaid and K-12 education and other critical issues here in Washington State. So if those cuts happen, well, we're going to have some big challenges here in Washington State.
While multiple questions were levied onto the governor regarding the reversal of the Columbia Basin Salmon Recovery Agreement by the Trump administration, he says he has no sway on the matter.
Obviously very much aware of it and potential impacts, right, on fish, on our economy, on the state. But as a governor, I've got to focus on what I have some control over.
Following the meeting at the Rotary, Governor Ferguson took part in a closed-door roundtable with local business leaders at the Port of Walla Walla before finishing up with an appearance at the Walla Walla Veterans Home to speak with residents there. Reporting in Walla Walla, I'm Alan Lester, KEPR Action News.
Alan Lester, thank you. Switching gears, the largest state pickleball tournament is happening this week in Kennewick with 400 participants expected this year. This is Club 509's third annual pickleball tournament. Participants are pro-level players coming from all around the country, including Idaho, Montana, and even Hawaii. Leaders from the Visit Tri-Cities say the tournament will provide a significant economic impact to the community.
So this tournament is great. It's supposed to bring in around $200,000 in economic impact. So it's going to definitely impact local businesses, local restaurants and attractions. Families, members will be coming, people wanting to come watch, spectators, event players. I mean, they're all going to go out into the community, spend their money at our local restaurants and businesses, and it's just going to boost our local economy that much more.
Now, the tournament is going to take place at Lawrence Scott Park in Kennewick at 8 a.m. today. It goes in through Sunday. The winner will take home a cash prize of $15,000. And it'll be a busy couple of days over on Canal Drive. The first Chick-fil-A is opened in the Tri-Cities, and the lines are already getting long this morning. All the barriers are gone, but the traffic cones are up in anticipation of that heavy traffic. The Kennewick Chick-fil-A opened at 6:30 this morning. There are specific entrances, though, you should use if you plan to go. KEPR's Alan Lester returns to walk us through it.
If you're planning to join in on the Chick-fil-A rush these next couple of days, your path to the finish line will depend on how you want to get your food. For drive-through goers, you'll have to take a right on Young Street from Canal Drive, followed by a left on Rio Grande Avenue, where you'll eventually come to a lined two paths, one for regular drive-through and the other for mobile order drive-through. Folks wanting to partake in the traditional dine-in experience or carry-out, you can enter the Chick-fil-A lot directly from Canal Drive and proceed into the restaurant's parking lot. Regardless of your order type, everyone will be required to leave directly onto Canal Drive from the Chick-fil-A lot. The side lot entrances located on Crosswind Boulevard will only be allowed for folks not going to Chick-fil-A, and while authorities will be on site to help direct traffic, you'll want to plan ahead as extra traffic is also expected with the kickoff of the Pickleball Summer Classic just a few blocks down the road. Reporting in Kennewick, I'm Alan Lester, KEPR Action News.
Alan Lester, our thanks again. With school out for the summer, though, Sunnyside is moving forward with construction near local schools. This is the second phase of the broader effort. Phase 1 replaced 44 ramps last year. The city approved the next phase of its pedestrian safety project, which will install 24 new ADA-compliant curb ramps. The project is mostly funded by the State Transportation Improvement Board, though the city will now cover 14% of the costs to meet inspection requirements. Work could begin as early as next week. And the Belmont Boulevard construction project in West Richland now complete. The city posted these pictures of the final section between Onyx Avenue, and Corsica Street. They write that with this final segment finished, Belmont Boulevard now provides a continuous connection from Paradise Way to Van Giesen. Yakima City Council heard from residents about the Transportation Benefit District project list. One notable item is the 6th Avenue Revitalization Project, which could affect the future of the historic trolleys. KIMA's John Franklin tells us about that.
I can't fix the road without tearing the trolley tracks out.
Right.
If I tear the trolley tracks out, then you are going to tell me whether I put them in or not. If I put them in, I can't put them in the condition that they are. So it's like all or nothing.
Keeping the trolley tracks has some support from the City Council, especially Mayor Patricia Byers.
Whether we decide to agree with the funding right now as it stands, or we decide as a council to keep that project on the list without putting any direct funding toward it right now. Either way, we allow the trolley to move forward.
Some people don't think the city should replace the tracks on 6th Avenue, citing the high cost. Fixing 6th Avenue with the tracks costs $15.3 million, but taking out the tracks cuts the cost in half.
I think the trolley is a poor investment. If we sold tickets at $20 per ride, we'd need $375,000 riders to help pay for those costs just for the construction work. And the city's not getting any revenue from the trolley. So I think there are too many ifs, so I would suggest a hard no on trying to fund the trolley. Thank you.
However, there are people trying to designate the trolleys as a National Historic Landmark, which could provide federal funding.
Part of the plan is going to be for the trolley to complete its designation as a National Historic Landmark, which will open lots of opportunities for grant funding for future addition to the project, whether it's the wiring or the other track.
Many people spoke their opinions on the future of the trolleys, including St. Nick, who rides it with children and toys in an annual tradition.
I'm usually not in town this time of year, but I wanted to be here to promote and request and urge you and implore you to support the trolleys.
For Action News, I'm John Franklin.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. After 3 days of fundraising at Specs Arena in Sunnyside, Sort for the Cause presented checks to 3 local organizations. Now in its 14th year, Sort for the Cause raised tens of thousands of dollars to support Wellness House, Heartlinks Hospice, and Palliative Care, and children's wishes and dreams.
All that money stays right here in the Yakima Valley with these charities that help people that are struggling. And each of our charities this year now can look at your check, and they are receiving $26,500 each in a year where it is very hard to fundraise anywhere in the United States. Congratulations and thank you.
For more information on the fundraiser, you can head over to our website, KIMATV.com. And finally, we want to take a moment to recognize one of our colleagues who just received a special honor. Our own Mike McCabe has been welcomed into the Silver Circle by the Northwest Chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Here he is accepting the award during our 5 o'clock newscast last night. We were able to successfully surprise him yesterday. Mike was not able to attend the actual ceremony because of his daughter's high school graduation. Congratulations to her as well. But former Action News anchor Rob Roxburgh, who nominated Mike, our own Vice President and General Manager David Praga, along with former Keeper and KIMA News Director Robin Watanek, who's chair of the Gold and Silver Circle Committee, were here to present Mike with that award.
I am completely thrown off. I had no idea this was going on.
Surprise, right?
I saw suits in the control room. I thought, what is going on in there? But I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, David must be going to a dinner tonight or something. And seeing Robin, our former news director, thank you so much.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what to say, so thank you. I did not know this was happening, so thank you so much.
Now, the Silver Circle is reserved for those who have made significant contributions in the broadcast industry for 25 or more years, including service to their local community and mentoring. Congratulations to Mike McCabe from all of us here at Keeper. And thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, KEPRKIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific Thursday.